So around about a week, nearly 2 weeks ago, we've seen the release of the new season for Halo the Master Chief Collection. Season, what is it, 6? I think it's 6 or 7, I'm pretty sure it's 6. Fireteam Raven, as it's called. And for the most part, it's been uneventful, pretty positive. Everyone's liking the new armor. People also seem to be liking the new map, people are enjoying it. I mean, you had the flights beforehand, where quite a few people managing to play it and have, by the looks of things, quite a bit of fun. Fortunately for myself, haven't been able to play the new map specifically because I need to set up a custom game with other people to play it, and well, I can't find anyone that wants to play it, so I guess I'm hard out of luck. But anyway, point is, with this, we've seen a lot of new cosmetics, 100 tiers, and then you've got the exchange, which is like some new shop thing as well. And basically, with this new update, we've seen their change to the default cosmetics, e.g. the way the game was originally designed without these new skins and inclusions. To put it simply, they've changed specifically the way the hand looks in the Halo 3 first person model. So what I do is I will show you a picture / example here. As you can see, they've changed the model. The one on the left is the original, the way it originally looked on the 360, and the way it looks on MCC if you turn off the custom skins setting. And the one on the right is if you have custom skins enabled. This is the way the first person hand will now look on Halo MCC. It's a shame they happened to do this to Halo 3. But I guess the real question we should be asking is, why are they changing such a thing? Seems such a weird little idea or little weird thing to change out of everything. And to put it simple, with this new update, we can have first person customization, not just weapon skins, but the forearms of the Spartan themselves. Now last season with Halo 3, you did have support for custom forearms. One of the notable things that was lacking was seeing that change apply to your first person model. Because last season, no matter what forearms you chose, that did not affect the first person model. It still affected the way your Spartan looked to other people when they were in third person. Unfortunately, that had no effect on first person. And fortunately for this season, the forearms themselves are actually now custom forearms, where based on the armor selection you choose, you're actually going to see that in-game on your first person arms. Unfortunately, one of the downgrades they have had to do is replace it with a lower quality hand, which seems pretty weird out of everything because it's affecting the forearms itself. You wouldn't expect it to need any changes to the hand. But to put it simply, I found this guy on Twitter who was talking a bit about it, and he said this: Season 6 introduces many new armor sets, and now you can customize the arms, which means they had to update the view models. Issue is that the old hand model has a gap where the default armor sits, so they, for some reason, decided to redo the hands instead of filling the gap. Now, I'm going to explain that, or at least re-explain what he said and use some visuals to help you understand. To put it simply, the original hand had a bit of armor on it, and in this example it'll probably be me holding an edge of sword, and you'll see that red plate on my left hand. To put it simply, the model or the asset in-game legitimately has nothing under that chunk of metal armor. There's no actual rest of the hand there, it's just a bunch of empty space. Now to put it simply, this is just an optimization trick. Like, you wouldn't be able to see that, so they don't put it in the game or even in the model itself, just to speed things up a bit. Now obviously that's going to be a problem, because with these new forearms, it doesn't just affect the forearms, but it affects the armor plate that's on the hand. In some cases there's none, in some cases there's weird little unique shapes. And obviously if this gap's missing, you're going to be able to see right through it, and that's going to be a problem. So obviously the logical thing was you need to fix that. And so they did. But the problem was, instead of getting the old model and just filling in this gap to where the missing part of the hand was, they decided for some reason it'd be a better option to redo the entire hands from scratch. Which I'm not necessarily opposed to, but the problem being is the way they've gone around this. Because facts put it, or at least basic facts would put it, that this model is actually just worse from a technical standpoint. For reference, old models are 955 triangles, while new ones are 706. Now, for those that don't understand it, I mean, I'm not a game designer either, but I'll explain it in simple terms. To put it simply, a game world is made out of a bunch of triangles, not a bunch of 2D triangles wrapped around a body to create a model, right? So anything in the world can be created out of little triangles. Cubes can be made out of 2, and circles can be made out of just a bunch of triangles. Obviously, you can see it's got like grooves and looks like a more sided hexagon or polygon. And that's how they create an entire world. And unsurprisingly, the more triangles you add, the more detail there is, and the better it can look. Problem being is the old models for these hands had 955 triangles making it up, while the new ones are only 706. And obviously that seems like a bit of a downgrade. We're talking about 250 less triangles to try and make a hand. So unsurprisingly, it's seen a degradation in quality. And so if you compare these two hand models, what you'll find out is the newer one, or the one to the right, looks worse. Personally, I definitely agree, it looks worse. Now, if I was to ask the question to you, you can comment below. Do you find the new hand actually look worse? Because I doubt anyone finds it better than the original, but I think most people would agree with me that it at least looks worse and is a downgrade to the original. Like, I guess, what are the problems with it? It seems to be lower quality in the polygon count, or the amount of triangles it has. The textures appear to just seem more of a repeating pattern, like there's no variety to it, it's just the same sort of pattern put across the entire hand. Another problem is, I guess, the fingers. Like, if you specifically look in this battle rifle example, you'll notice that there used to be no gap between the hand and the where is resting the gun. And obviously with this new hand, you now got this small little gap there. So it shows the model, this new model is actually quite different, at least in its size compared to the original. And that's the one thing I don't get, is why did they make an entirely new model? Like, why didn't they simply just get the old one and then patch in the little hole it has? And the only reason I can think of is possibly they ran out of time. Like, it seems weird to say, but I guess I'll just explain it. The only solution I reasonably think of that they'd do that for is they didn't have time to patch in the hole, but they had enough time to make an entire hand, I guess. I guess my only problem at the end of the day with these new hands is that even if you pick the Mark V, which is the original default, even if you turn the custom skins off, this is the armor that you normally see on the forehands. Even if you have that custom skins on, but you use the original forehands, it appears with the new hand model. Like, for some reason, new hand model doesn't appear on only the forearms, the new forearms. It still appears on the OG forearms, which is a shame to see. And at the end of the day, this seems like a very small problem to nitpick, but I guess the only reason I'm having to go at it as much as I am is specifically just because these hands are something you're going to be looking at like all the time when you're playing the game. Like, you're always first person a good amount of time, and so when you happen to see these bad looking hands, it's honestly kind of annoying, and it's visually quite a throw out in the sense that it's inconsistent with everything else. Like, I agree that the new armors don't fit Halo 3's aesthetic at all. And another problem, what's worse than that, is having models that look like a downgrade from a technical standpoint. Models that look like they should be a generation back, for example. All I really need 343 to do to fix this, or what I'd like them to do, not demand it, but I'd prefer them to do, is simply just have it. If people are using the Mark V / the OG forearms, they should get the original hands along with that. I can understand them needing to use these new hands with the new forearms, but they should still use the old hand with the old forearms. I don't know why they did that. Maybe it was an oversight on their part, and I honestly, at the end of the day, I just hope they revert it, at least for the Mark V, so we can get the original hands back for at least that, because I don't expect them to give the original hands for the new forearms, as they're not designed to be together. So I'd like to know whether or not you agree or disagree with me. You can do that in a couple of ways, simply just liking or disliking the video. Comment below your opinions or any extra little bits you want to add in. Maybe I didn't cover everything and there's some stuff you think you could cover. I'll be down in the comments talking to those who want to. If you want to see more Halo related content, from me, you can subscribe to me on my YouTube channel. I'd also, just as a little reminder, like to thank you for helping me reach 100 subscribers, and as of right now we're about on 110. I'd like to thank yous for making that possible. That's all I have for today, and I hope I get to see you again soon.